I just took everything out of the mold infested car, so it is messy. I'm gonna organize, but it's enough room for me to lay down and put the mattress. It even has a light, which is kind of crazy. Like, I feel like this is kind of meant for living in. But
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's meant for you to be able to see when you putting your stuff in there. Now, you know, after the first storage unit video I did, I had to come back with another one. So I just had to. Thanks for all the support on the first one. But in this one, we're going to look at some more stories about living in the storage unit. Okay? And, you know, I put these in no particular order, but the one I did do, or the one I did put in order, is the first one where we're going to check in with the couple that was in the first one. And we're going to just, you know, see how they're doing. So let's start with that first, and then we'll go from there.
We're the couple that was living in a storage unit. Now we have a home.
I live in the storage unit, climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm.
So this is our living space?
We got kicked out of the storage unit in 2024. A year later, I'm cooking crock-pot meals in my new home.
And I'm cleaning our bathroom. We were grateful to have a bathroom in the storage unit, and we're even more grateful to have our own.
I am meal prepping for the week. This wasn't possible in the storage unit. I am so grateful to have a kitchen.
I'm prepping the tub to give her a bath.
These cabinets are too tall for me. You got me a can of black beans and a can of sweet corn.
So need this, right? I could never do this for her in the storage unit. She deserves to be comfortable and relaxed.
In the storage unit, we didn't have the luxury of eating healthy food. For convenience purposes, we ate a lot of processed foods in the unit.
So basically, you gave us a video to tell us that living in a home is better than living in a storage unit. Duh. Like, I understand people are down on their luck, you know, and they need to live in a storage unit. And a lot of people were mad at me for laughing in the first one. I never laughed at anybody's pain. I've laughed at stuff I see, things people said, facial expressions, but I never laughed at anybody's pain for being homeless. Let's just get that out the way. But we all understand that living in a storage unit is illegal. And I know you feel sympathy for them, and, you know, they're just making a way for themselves because the government is not helping them. I get all that. I get all that. And you're allowed to sympathize with people who are homeless. You are. But being homeless is not an excuse for breaking the law. We have to remember that. Just like if you were on vacation for 2 weeks, all right, and you came back home and a homeless person was living in your home when you returned, you're not going to come in and say, oh, yeah, I know you're homeless. You can stay here. No, you would be like, hey, you got to go or I'm calling the police. And a lot of these storage unit places will get shut down if somebody is living in there. So they have to kick them out. But let's watch some more, man.
What are the neighborhood thugs doing here?
Well, the guy across the street with the white pickup truck used to live on the property before Alex and Sammy purchased it. And then when they got it, they kicked him out. And he's been in and out of here, and I've been catching him. And the last time I told him, I said, if you come in again, I'm going to have you arrested.
Yeah, so the previous owner allowed a guy to live in one of the units. He had an AC in there and everything. And when we bought it, we were like, obviously can't live here. That's insane. But apparently he still likes to visit his old home.
This tenant has been evicted from their storage unit because they were trying to live inside their storage unit, which is why all their stuff is here and they're packing it up right now. The way we figured out that this tenant was living on site is there's a few different things that we watch. When we check keypads, we see who is staying after access hours, and this tenant had done this multiple times. We also noticed that this tenant was leaving items outside of the unit and in the exterior hallway that were there. Soon after these things happened, we saw on the keypads and also the cameras that the tenant had stayed overnight, entered the facility at 8:08 p.m., and exited the facility the next day at 2:08 p.m. I sent out a warning to the tenant and I said, hey, we don't allow living on the property at all. That's against your lease. I quoted the lease in there. This is a one-time warning. We're not going to kick you out this time, but we will terminate your lease if this happens again. Unfortunately, the tenant had done a similar thing again, staying on the property a majority of the day and way after access hours, and was letting one of her friends doing things on the property that they shouldn't. So I reached out to the tenant again and I said, all right, everything's terminated. You need to come and pick up your belongings. I'm gonna have to meet you there on site. We're denying your access and we'll give you a 2-hour window to pick up your items. About a week later, last night, the fees were paid. This morning, the tenant called me, said that they rented a U-Haul and could meet me on site to retrieve all their belongings. Here's what it looks like in the storage unit. You can see a bed right there, all set up with bedding, and a sketchy looking loft that's built up with all the items on top. You can see a TV that's set up right there underneath this loft structure. There's candles on this table, which is a potential fire hazard. Coats are hung up over the door and multiple items on display. For those of you that are wondering why we don't allow people to live in a storage unit, even if it seems like maybe they're not causing a bunch of problems, it is illegal for us to allow people to live in storage units. They're not habitable. We're not providing the necessary things that they need for occupancy by law, so we have to terminate. It's for legal and also safety and security reasons. This tenant in particular was also allowing other activities that are definitely not allowed on this property to be happening. You can see there's some more progress made. They're going in and out of their unit, constantly loading things in the U-Haul. At this point, I've been on property with them for about 2.5 hours. I just walked over there and took a look inside. Basically, there's like the shelving, the loft thing that's left there. Most of the stuff's loaded up inside the U-Haul. It's been about 4 hours now, still waiting for her to finish up, and she's waiting on one of her friends to come bring a drill so they can take down the shelving, and then we'll be done. After about 30 minutes of waiting, another tenant that she had talked to that's moving out today volunteered and said that she would take down all this wood with her drill. I think that's where she was going to get the drill down. She asked if that was okay, and I said, yep, that's fine. So that way she can take off, and so I can leave as well. So after about 4.5 hours, this is what's left. And now I can leave the property.
See, it's, I know we as people from the outside looking in, because there's a lot of comments on this video talking about they'll never use a Titan storage now because of this video. This is sad that they're doing this to that tenant. Or as a business owner, one comment says, as a business owner, I get it, but as a human being, y'all are FUCKED. And we have to understand, this is the business, okay? Just imagine if you worked hard to open your own business, and then why would you then allow somebody to do something in your business that could close your business down after working so hard to open the business? What if you had a restaurant, but you didn't have a liquor license, and somebody wanted to come in and sell liquor in your business? Would you allow them to do that, knowing that if found out, your business could get shut down? This business that you worked so hard for? No, you wouldn't. Just like they cannot allow somebody to sleep in their storage unit facility because the business will get shut down. It's illegal. It's illegal. But let's move on.
I paid $50 for this whole little storage unit. It's pretty cozy and remarkable if you think about it. Like, look at this. I fit inside the whole unit. I have my socks here, underwear, tank tops, gym socks, my shoes. I have my gym clothes, towels, my Nice clothes. Some just more random stuff. Some more storage for shoes. And the rest of everything that is tied to my name is right here. It's quite impressive how much shit I fit in here. Especially just like the little space that I have. Because ultimately it's really just like, look at it. Like, it's my arm's length that really fits in this whole unit.
All right, don't mind the beard. I gotta trim this forest, but I've never seen this happen, and I never thought I would ever see it. Or I only thought maybe it happened like once every 3-4 years or whatever. Somebody was living in a storage unit in a facility that I run my eBay store out of. It's a brand new facility. The one manager, I guess, was doing his like routine walks around because they sweep, they mop like almost like every other day here. So it's a very clean facility. I guess he noticed one of the doors were like half open. Now, like, if you can notice, like my door, I have a bigger door than everyone else, but it was like half open, like right here. And he noticed that there was a bunch of food and drinks, and obviously in storage units you cannot have any food or drinks in there. So that was like a red flag for him. And so he just kind of like peeked underneath and saw a guy sleeping on a bed. So he opened the door and was just like, hey, bro, you gotta leave. You cannot.
I'm laughing because the goal is to not get caught in there. So why would you go to sleep with the door halfway open? Y'all gotta realize that's funny, okay? That's funny that somebody would do something that stupid. You know? Like, what? Why would you do that? If the goal is to not get caught sleeping in there, why would you go to sleep with it halfway open? All right? And again, it's illegal. Okay? So I'm going to laugh at somebody doing something stupid that gets them caught for committing a crime. I do that all the time on my other channel. And I'm going to continue to do that. If you're doing something illegal and make a stupid mistake, like leave the door halfway up when you're sleeping illegally in a storage unit, I am going to laugh at you for being so stupid. Let's go.
Sleep here. You have already breached your contract, yada yada yada. And apparently this dude had like, I guess, a little mini apartment in his storage unit. He told him that he had to vacate the premises, you know, yada yada yada. The guy refused to leave. Then he was nice enough to be like, hey, listen, we'll give you until Monday or Tuesday to just clean everything out and get out. He refused, took a chair out, sat in front of his unit and said, I'm not leaving. And then he's just like, well, if you're not going to leave, I'm going to call the cops. And then he started threatening the manager here, saying that like once he leaves, he's going to come back specifically for him. And so he immediately went back to the office, called the cops. The guy comes back into the office and was just like, no, wait, hold on, bro. You know, like playing the whole thing like, oh, I'm just joking. Cops came here, got him to clean up whatever a little bit, and then pretty much sat here until he left. I've never seen that before. Just wild. Now, obviously, we don't know the guy's backstory and stuff like that. Like, everyone has their reasons for some things, you know, like, could be just really down on his luck right now, but, like, when you have multiple 2-liter bottles of soda filled with pee, you gotta kick him out, you know, like...
Hi. How are you guys? Working off of a Get Marty tip, we found the Ashbaugh family living here in the storage unit. Actually, they have 2 units, and they've been living here for a while, for months.
You've been here a month? At least. Well, actually, it's coming up on 2 months.
You're a strong Jacqueline Ashbaugh tells me it's been 2 months since her husband and 3 kids moved into this storage unit. No electricity, no running water, nothing but a space and metal doors, and they sleep here. What do you do at night? You sleep this open?
No, we come in and we close it.
Doesn't it get hot?
That's why it's open right now. I can't have him sleeping in there with the doors closed. He'll overheat.
Peer back into the storage unit. You can see the mattress where the 5 members of the Ashbaugh family sleep every night, including 3 children, with the steel doors closed, no electricity, and no plumbing. It's illegal and it's dangerous. The only light from a cell phone.
Phone light, yeah, but that kills the battery.
Jacqueline asked us for help. We immediately called the Allegheny County Department of Human Services. Sources tell me they made contact with the family. I'm also told the family is right now in emergency housing.
There's definitely hope and services available to them.
Abigail Horn is with the Allegheny Department of Human Services. She is not allowed to talk about the Ashbaugh case, but promises folks who ask get help.
There's definitely help available. Of course, individuals and families are all dealing with the challenges that life brings them. And so certainly families, households do find themselves in difficult situations.
No one believes a family of 5 should have to ever sleep in a room like this, inside a storage unit, under any circumstances.
And there are services out there that'll help, okay? And I know sometimes those services have a waiting list, and it seems like they're never going to get to you because you're so far down on the list, and I understand that. But first you have to get on the list. You can't just say, oh, the line is too long, I'm not getting in it. Get in the line. That's the first thing. Get in the line. You know, apply for different services, multiple different services. You know, people are going to be down on their luck, and life is going to life sometimes. And people are going to have to resort to things like this. I understand it. I get it. You know, messed up as this country is, that we can send billions of dollars over to other countries and still have a huge homeless problem in this country. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. But I can't do anything about that. I'm talking about if I found myself homeless, I can't do anything about that. Yelling and complaining about the government this, the government that, does nothing for my situation if I find myself homeless. It does nothing. So I have to use the resources that I can access to help me. And that is including calling and getting resources or going to the places that provide resources for you. If the list is long, get on the list. Try to do something to help yourself. You can't just scream government this, government that all the time. That's not going to help you. You have to go out and work and do the necessary things and take the necessary steps to help yourself. You can't depend on anybody else. That includes the government. You have to go get it for you. Let's go to the next one. I think I got more anyway.
I'm currently living in a storage unit. My landlords decided not to renew my lease this year, and the apartment that I applied for won't be open until October 1st. I have family here in town, but here I am, living in the storage unit. And the bad part is your access gets denied after 10 p.m., so if I am to leave right now, I wouldn't be able to get back in. Here's my setup. I got my bed right here. Don't come at me. I'm literally living in a storage unit, bro. And how I lock myself in here to ensure that no one comes in here is I use this rope and I put it under my TV stand, and that makes it to where this door can't open from the outside. I've also dummy locked it to where it looks like someone isn't in here and they've got their shit locked up, so when the employees walk by, they don't know I'm in here. Slowly getting back to my feet, you know? Come join the journey. Follow. Day number 2 of living in my storage unit. This is my 2nd day of filming, but this is my 7th day living here. I'm gonna show you guys where I charge my stuff. Right now I've got a power bank up here charging, and this thing charges shit so fucking slow. I've been charging this for like 2 hours, and it's still like at the very fucking bottom. I had to hurry up because I was right in front of a window and I didn't know if anyone was out there or not. Got my power bank. Now we're back at home for now. Yep, like I said, you know, it's definitely not ideal, but it's a lot better than being in the streets. I've got 3 things.
Sir, you told us in the first clip you had family in town. What do you mean? What do you mean? You never said I asked them and they said no. So why are we resorting to this? If we have family, we can go stay with. Like 2023, when I left my ain't shit ex-wife, okay, I could have been homeless. If it wasn't for my older sister saying you could stay with me, I would have been homeless for a month. Like family, that's what. Man, that's the reason we have family. That's part of it anyway.
Things that I try to keep charged, and those things are my pen, my phone, and my Switch. And so this thing charges 2 things at once, but it's still at low battery because that thing doesn't charge everything worth the fuck. And so I don't know how long this is going to be able to charge my phone. And so I'm probably going to end up having to go back out there and try charging it again. And someone was like, if your parents won't let you stay at their house, I definitely won't let you stay at my house. Like, motherfucker, I don't even want to stay at your house anyway, dude. I'd rather be here than stay at your motherfucking house. I don't even know you, bro. First of all. Second of all, like, who says shit like that? But it is what it is, bro. Like, I ain't even tripping right now. I got way too much other shit on my plate. Also, my Cash App is right here. If anyone wants to donate, anything helps at all, man. Like, anything. Like, hell, man, like, there's some hotels here that are like $50 a night. If I could even just get like 1 night of a break from this place, that would be great, man. But like I said, anything helps if you guys wanted to donate. I don't want to be one of those guys that's constantly asking for money on here every single day. But like I said, I'm kind of in a spot right now where it could help some. So I would appreciate it, guys. Here's day 3. And guys, I can't do this anymore, man. There's too much noise, like people just left. But I only got 4 hours of sleep. I've got to work tonight at midnight. And I can't do this anymore, guys. I've got to go somewhere else. I called the missions around here, and they don't accept people till 4:45 and shit. So I'm just going to have to ask my coworker tonight and be like, yo, bro, I really need a place to stay, man. Can I crash at your place? Because he already offered a place. We just never really talked more about it. So I'm going to talk to him tonight and see about that. But yeah, I can't do this, guys. This is not sustainable. I'm still going to keep you guys updated on everything, though.
Yeah, some people think that's easy. It's not easy. Yes, it's shelter from the rain, but a lot of the storage units, especially I think this one is not climate controlled. So, you know, when it's hot outside, it's hot in there. When it's cold outside, it's cold in there. It's not easy living in the storage unit. So I know some of these setups we've seen, especially in the first video, look like it's amazing, but it's not. It's not.
So update, guys. I found a hotel that's like $750 a month, which is not bad at all. And I get paid tonight. So what I'm gonna do is whenever my paycheck hits my account tonight, I'm going to get an Uber to that hotel and go ahead and check in for a couple weeks until I can get shit figured out. The apartment that I applied for said that they're going to call me back today and tell me the status of my application, like I said. And so I'll know about that today as well. So shit's coming together. I just got to get my paycheck so I can get out of here and get my hotel.
So welcome to my potential new home. I got a little storage unit. I just took everything out of the mold infested car, so it is messy. I'm gonna organize, but it's enough room for me to lay down and put the mattress. It even has a light, which is kind of crazy. Like, I feel like this is kind of meant for living in.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's meant for you to be able to see when you putting your stuff in there. What? I got a light in my closet, sir. That doesn't mean it's meant for me to sleep in there. What is we talking about? It's not what it's for. Oh my God.
How does it feel to be back in the States? I'm kind of spiraling. I think I'm stressed and overwhelmed and a little bit sad because I didn't expect everything to go to chaos, my first day back in the States. Also, my parents that I want no contact with, and made it clear I wanted no contact with them, tried contacting me today out of all days. Isn't that funny? So if you're watching this, birth parents, I wish there was a better word, because I feel like parents don't even justify like what kind of monsters they are. My birthers, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty much screw off. I don't know how to make it more clear. I want no contact with you. I don't care if someone is dying. I don't care if I'm dying. If I have like some sort of like liver issue and the only way to save my life is to ask my family members, people who are related to me by blood, for an organ or for blood, I would choose death. That's how clear I want to make it. If you're watching this, which most likely you are, I would rather die than ever see your faces again, or talk to you. So I'll make that clear. Just a reminder, never going to forgive you. So when you're lying on your deathbed, wondering and probably asking for my forgiveness, you're not going to get it. Not even God could forgive you for the things you did to me. So yeah, good luck with the rest of your life. But anyways, back to my adventure. Yeah, so storage unit, mattress is good. I had a mattress cover so it didn't mold, so that's savable. I did have to throw away the sleeping bag and the sheets, so that's a little unfortunate. Blanket, I washed it, so hopefully it's still good. Starlink, check. I'm not sure if I want to organize today. I might just go to the forest and set up a tent and then sleep there for tonight, because my energy levels are a little low. I think I'm emotionally exhausted. I don't know why people can't respect my boundaries or my existence, I guess. Anyways, that's the updates. I'm missing the Philippines and Thailand. I miss your guys' smoothies and the social life and how everyone seemed to be a little bit happier. Yeah, I was happier.
Love. Hi. Yeah.
Okay, because we can't have it closed like that. It has to be open, wide open at all times.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Everything okay?
Everything good?
Okay, yeah. You don't mind with me, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. You too.
Now, I have been lucky enough to never had been homeless. And so I don't know what I would do if that ever happened to me. I don't know what the next step would be or the first step. I don't know. I don't know. But I know one thing I wouldn't do is break the law. Well, wait a minute. Because I always have had this debate. Like, would I rather be living out on the street homeless or be locked up in jail? And most of the time as I thought about it, I would rather be locked up in jail. So I would rather commit a small crime that gets me locked up in jail. But at the same time, as I'm now thinking about that, if my goal is to not be homeless one day, going to jail would, in a sense, prolong my homelessness. So I really don't know what I would do. But like I said, breaking the law is like being homeless is not an excuse for breaking the law. You know, I know we sympathize with these people, and you know, we understand that everybody who's homeless is not homeless because of drug use. You know, a lot of times we think, you know, drugs make them homeless, but sometimes it's just somebody simply was living check to check and they lost their job. That could send somebody into homelessness. And, you know, we can only do so much, you know, as a people to help them. You know, but what we can't do is be okay with them breaking the law. You just can't be okay with that, because homelessness, like I said, homelessness is not an excuse for breaking the law. It really is not. You know, and I know you don't think that the owners of these storage units should be kicking them out or they should care. And I get that, because you don't own that storage unit. If you own that storage unit, you would see it how they see it. It sucks that people have to resort to that. It really does. But you can't put your business, your life's work at risk because someone else is having a hard time in life right now. Because your business could be taken away from you, and then you could be on the street just like them. And that just adds to the problem, to the homelessness problem. So, you know, but tell me your thoughts down in the comment section. You know, tell me I'm wrong like you did in the first one. You know, that's cool too. But don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see y'all on the next one.